Grand Rising, everyone. Grand Rising. It is a morning time Liberated Pussy podcast. We are coming to you earlier than we normally do. We have a very special guest who will be joining us. Of course, we have the Moon Mama, and she's coming in now. And we are on the Progressive Love Academy and many more things. So we will be talking and sharing and learning and growing. Good morning, my darling.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. How are you?
Just rolled out of bed.
I know
And
that's
just rolled
right.
out of my spiritual practice. So I'm sitting here, just drinking my tea.
Yes,
I'm so excited for this conversation now.
me too.
Kenya is a lot of fun. So
It's a lot of fun. Oh, here she is. Okay, she's just joined us. Yes.
stop it, my aunt.
And
Thank
so
you.
many may not know we actually met through Kenya K. Stevens, you and I, in the Blue Butterfly Group, which is a woman's initiation, I would say. That's where
Good
we met.
morning, Miss Kenya. It's
Hello,
nighttime there.
ladies.
You see,
Hello.
Kenya,
How
for
are
IG.
you?
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, it's nighttime for her. Good evening.
Good evening. Kenya's in Bali, y'all. And just so y'all know, my IG is doing a special thing. I can see Monique, but Kenya, I can't see you. But I trust Monique, you can see all three of us.
I can see all three of us.
Okay.
I see Kenya.
I
She
can
looks
see
beautiful.
everyone
Okay.
too.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. This is totally amazing.
How you doing,
So Kenya,
Kenya?
I'm fantastic. I love it. I love Bali. Bali is for lovers. It is a lover island with all lover things. All the
Kenya
nutrima,
is
all
in
the
Bali.
flowers.
Nice.
Yes.
Right now, Kenya is in Bali right now. Kenya, you know we're going to Bali in July. We're going to Bali and we're taking 26 women with us.
Oh, wonderful. That should be very nice. I
Mhm.
love it. I love it. I'm very curious. You guys invited me on this podcast. What's going on? What are we chatting about? I haven't
Well,
spoken with you guys in quite some time,
I
one on
know.
one or in a group. Many
it's
years.
been a moment. It's been a moment, but just trust and believe we have always carried you with us. Trust and believe that.
Of
Trust and
course.
believe.
Of
Yeah.
course. No
Trust and
one
believe.
could
So,
not carry me with them.
right. Right.
If we've been together, we are
We
together
we
forever.
are
That is
together
my
forever. We are together
Together forever.
forever.
Together forever.
We are together
So, like I
forever.
shared, well, let us back up. Let us all introduce ourselves, and then we'll jump into this amazing conversation. Monique will be our timekeeper because I can't see the time once I'm in this view.
Okay.
But everyone, welcome to the 7th edition from the second season of the Liberated Pussy podcast. I am your sister. I am Adina Gittens-Smith, the goddess of magical movement. I am the co-founder of Belly Dancers of Color Collective. You know, Monique and I do this beautiful podcast every week, and we also gather with women in Goddess Technology and Goddess Gathering under the University of Follow the Sun. Kenya K. Stevens is our special guest today. We'll let her introduce herself, but Monique, take it away.
Hey, you all. I am Monique. I am also known as the Moon Mama. It is 6 a.m. I just rolled out of bed. So let me get my head is. So I'm an astrologer. It is my mission and devotion to assist women in waking up into their true power, which is one of the reasons why I'm so excited that we are here with Kenya K. Stevens, because she is the first woman that I really saw that was functioning in magic.
Mhm.
I had never, it was when I saw her, I was like, oh, she knows magic.
Yes.
Like she wasn't afraid of it, right? And that's why I'm so excited to have you here today, Kenya, because I wanted us to have a conversation. Adina and I want us to have a conversation about what does it mean to be a magical woman?
Ashe.
What does it mean to be magical? So,
Ashe.
Wow.
and
Mhm.
you are magical, Kenya.
And
You are magical.
always been.
You are.
Has
I could
always
cry
been.
saying it. Like you are very magical, and you meet reality with your power, and reality bends into your expression,
Mhm.
and that's what is necessary on the planet right now for Black women to wake up into. And we invited
Wow.
you here so you can talk about it with us and talk about how you do it and why you do it and all of that. So, how you doing,
How
girl?
how you doing,
I
girl?
feel No, I feel fantastic. No, I love magic. I've never understood an intellectual understanding of magic where you intellectualize, like, well, yeah, I could manifest this. Well, yeah, you could. Or, I can create with my pussy, or I can, do sex magic. It's more of a discussion rather than a practical action. And that's something I've not understood well in my life. I just, what is it that you're doing? What are the actions that you're taking? Maybe that's my double warrior, just like act on it. It's not really a discussion. Did you do sex magic last time you had sex? Did you do water magic last time you were in the shower? Are you talking to water? Are you talking to your plants? Are you talking to your hair that you want to grow? Are you talking to your breath that you want to be a different shape? Like, are you touching them? Are you massaging them? Are you singing to them? Are you trying? Where are you at? What are you doing? We reading a book? Are we reading a book, or are we doing magic? So I've never understood that. I've been doing that since I was 14. When I was 11, I left the church. But my mother was a Christian witch, a Christian magician, walking around, walking the floor, throwing holy water, binding the devil, So I saw her practically do that. Many Christians, on the other hand, maybe would read some things. My mother wasn't reading nothing; she was doing magic. So that's, I think, just in my legacy, the women in my family.
That's beautiful. That's
Yes, that is
beautiful.
beautiful.
I can say when I first met Kenya, we were in our 20s. Kenya was here in DC, and we were in a spiritual community. And Kenya, when I met you, your energy was just so high. I think I might have been maybe 25 or so. And I was timid in this. And I had, like Monique said, never met a woman quite like you. And to be young and confident in it, it really, for me as a young woman, was off-putting. And off-putting because now I know it was a proclivity. It was something that I wanted, but I didn't know how to access it with you because you were just so blah. I mean, you just always have been that, like you said, that double warrior in your face with it. And nowhere else had I seen that. Even in the church, like you said, your mom was a holy roller in that respect, throwing water and, binding the devil. I saw that more in my grandmother, but still quietly. You wasn't nothing quiet about the way you handled your magic as a young woman, as a young mother, and now as friends with you. I know the story in terms of the point that I came into your life because Simbi was already born. So you had already gone through a big magical challenge. And I get why your energy was so big. I get it. I get it. So we want
Yeah.
to talk today about magical women, how to access it, how not necessarily to be scared of it, because it took me 30 years to come back to it, like where we were then in that spiritual community. Now I'm like, okay,
Right.
bring
Right.
it, bring
But
all of it. I want it all.
you guys would have to address what are some of the fears. I don't know what their fear would be. Is
Yeah.
where does the fear stem from? Is it people? I mean, what is a fear of actual power? You taking a place as God in your life, goddess,
That that
in terms of
piece.
even
I don't think
what
we
piece?
see ourselves as God. Like when you asked me, when we came back together 6 or 7 years ago, and you asked me, well, what happened? Why weren't you in there? And I said, I was afraid to do it full out. Like you guys were living in community and that kind of thing. And I was in the community, but then I lived separately in my house with my little family. I wanted to do it that way. I was still trying to do what I have been trained to do, to see if that worked. I was still in the matrix story of what my life should be. And I didn't really see myself as God, goddess. I didn't. I didn't see my power. I saw myself as small. That's what it was. I saw myself as small. Where I know all that's a lie now.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, good.
Hmm.
Oh, it's
Hmm.
it's fine to be either place. Wherever you are is
Yeah.
perfection. Whatever you're doing is perfection. There's because the perfection is that it is going to take you to your next level. Where you are
Right.
is going to take you to the next place. That place is going to take you to the next place. So I understand now what you're saying. Sure, I
Hmm.
understand the fear of being bigger because that means you have to take responsibility.
Right.
Yes.
Right. That
So
part.
Yes.
nobody wants to do that. I mean, that is the most scary part. And it's not even a magic or is it voodoo or that. It's that you have to take responsibility for your life.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
really it. That's the key right there.
yeah,
Women oftentimes are afraid of taking responsibility of our lives because all of the narrations and the stories tell us that someone else is responsible for us. Our
yeah.
husband
The
is
husband
responsible
gonna
for us.
fix
Your
it.
father is
The job
responsible
gonna
for you.
fix it. Yes,
Right.
Jesus
But
gonna fix it. You know.
worse yet is that you get the satisfaction of saying it's their fault. It's
Yes.
not
That,
even that
that,
they're going to fix it. It's that it's not my fault. It's my husband's fault. He's such a whatever.
right.
He didn't make it, or it's the government's fault. It's a white man's fault, and that's so satisfying. You watch ever those satisfying videos where they're scrubbing a piece of chalk or some shit, or making a weird noise. It's so satisfying. No, the most satisfying thing to many is to say it is somebody else's fault. It feels so
Mm.
good. You can rest. Now you
They
know
want to
that
be
it's not
right. They want to be right too. That whole feeling of I'm right, he's wrong. Standing on quote unquote fake righteousness.
but don't play with it. It is satisfying. Are y'all not going to
Yeah,
Yes.
give me
it is.
that?
It
Yes.
is. Yeah.
As you're saying it's satisfying, I can feel that up in my vaginal area. I can feel the satisfaction of blaming somebody or
Mm-hmm.
feeling the
Yeah,
justification of
yeah,
it's somebody else's fault. Yes, I can
yeah,
feel that in my body. I'm so happy you
yeah,
said that, Kim.
yeah. Yes. I know what was also I was afraid of is owning how I really felt, because I thought that once I got married and once I had babies and once I did all of these things that would be enough. Like that is what my life was for. But that is a story or a journey of my life, but that is not the sum total of my life.
Mhm.
And so then again, the responsibility, put it back on me. If that's not it, then what is it?
Right.
Yeah.
I could at least ask the question.
Mm-hmm. Ever evolving. So good.
Mm-hmm.
I had a client today who said she didn't know anything about her mother except that it was a mother. It was just
Mm-hmm.
she was a mother. That's all she
Mm-hmm.
knew about her
Oh
whole
wow.
life.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point the parent passed on, and she didn't know anything else. She didn't know her mother's other lovers or her other likes or dislikes or where she wanted to travel or what her goals were, just that she was a mother. And I thought that we have to do much better than that. Not that that's bad,
Mhm.
but we're more than just a mother or just a wife.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes. Adina, the thing you're saying about taking responsibility for what you really want and how you feel, that's what I heard you, because that's what Kenya's saying, like not wanting to take responsibility. The responsibility piece is such a big deal.
It's
It's
foundational. It's everything.
yes. Yeah. Like being responsible for ourselves, being responsible for how we feel, being responsible for what we desire,
Mm-hmm.
being responsible for the ways that we hold ourselves back in our mind. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
the stuff for me that has been challenging. It's like
Mm-hmm.
really being responsible for how I talk to myself inside of myself, being responsible for how I think about myself. Being responsible, oh, I don't think I'm capable. I don't think it's not what somebody else thinks. I'm responsible for the fact that I'm afraid of my own power.
Mm-hmm.
I am afraid. Woo, to say that it's
Mm-hmm.
like woo, like it's like it just like I'm afraid of what people are gonna think. I'm responsible for that, right? Like there's nothing happening out there is the biggest thing. To take full responsibility for yourself in every
Right.
way and have no one else have no desire to blame, no desire to blame yourself or another, just to be responsible is what I feel it in the depths of my vagina, y'all. I feel that like it's orgasmic. It's like
And the
it's
pussy
like
don't lie. The pussy
right.
don't lie.
It's like whoa. I mean, it's slightly destabilizing
Mm-hmm.
the energy of that. It's
Mm-hmm.
like because there's a lot of power in taking responsibility.
It
Mm.
is. It really is. It really is.
Wow.
So Kenya, because we've been doing this podcast, we're in our second season, and this is our second year. The year turned over,
Oh.
and we've really been talking about how to come into our power, and we talk about magic and things like that. But depending on where folks are, and we know it's no wrong place to be because all paths lead home, how can those who are open to this really start to take responsibility, start to own it, start to realize that the need for blame is a sticking point? It's a place that keeps you stuck. So what would you suggest or what would you offer women? And we women of a certain age, you know, like we didn't already had our babies are grown. And, you know, wherever you are in your relationship, it really still comes down to you with you. And your magic is a personal walk. What would you say to them about getting real with yourself and really being about this work?
Well, I start all of my clients with up level. There is
Yes.
no way to jump into magic without understanding who you are. And up level starts to define your ego, your animal, your higher self.
Yes.
And your higher self is where that magic comes from. And it does that magic through your ego and through your animal. And really taking responsibility, the 5 progressive love tenets, these are foundational for a new culture. I wrote a new culture.
Yes.
And that new culture begins with understanding who we are, and not the cliche. That goes back to the intellectualism of magic. Not the cliche of, I want to know who I am. I want to practice self-love, self-care. These are intellectual concepts with no grounding. How do I actually prove to myself that I am a god? Oh my gosh, I can hear another person's vent about me. I can understand who's listening, who's speaking. I can understand and start to piece together, like, you understand, these concepts into practical use. Now I'm living and walking into a more powerful version of myself. I look at the spiritual community and I was like, what magic are you doing if you're just entangled in ego battles? Where's the, how do you get out?
Right.
Can you get out?
Yeah.
You know, oh no, you can't. Okay, we're not, you know, we're not operating on full battery here, a full capacity. So that's step one. I don't know how. That was step one for me when I was 14. I didn't know anything about this stuff, but I knew that I was one with all. And so, what does that mean about my experiences if I am one with all? One of the things it means is that there's no one to blame, because who did it to me? I did it to me, because you are me. So starting to apply those things, it made me, you know, it prepares the earth for fertility. You understand? I think that that's the starting point.
Yeah.
I wouldn't tell somebody go start by just, you know, throwing some oranges in the river and washing yourself with honey. Okay, who is yourself? What are you washing? Why? What parts of yourself are interacting here? You know. So I don't know. I think that that's where I would start.
Okay.
That's the. I don't know if that answers the question though.
Well, it does.
No, it does. It does.
It leads to the next part. Go ahead, Mo.
Yes, just the conversation about up level, because Kenya, please talk about up level, how you gave birth to it, because it is life changing, and every human needs it, especially Black women, but every human.
Right. We call it divine communication.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I just wasn't getting along with my husband. I wasn't getting along with anyone. I didn't know how to actualize that oneness. I knew I'm one with all. But when I would try to express myself to, like, for instance, my husband, he act like he was separate from me. I'm crazy. My emotions are crazy. My thoughts are crazy. Everything that I think is not right. He doesn't agree with it. He's not going to listen to it. It's bullshit, you know. And that made a separateness for me. And I was like, I thought we were one. I thought we were one. And I realized that it's only in our language where the oneness breaks down. It's in our language that says, you are over there and I'm over here. You aren't, you know, you're pretty, you're ugly, you're rich, you're poor, you're this, you know, all those separations. Them, that's theirs, that's mine. All of these things really start to fragment us from our own inner power. If they're there and I'm here, I can't affect them magically or otherwise. If you're rich and I'm poor, if I'm poor and you're rich, I can't change that without understanding that that's not true. So up level helps you start to understand that everything you think about yourself, everything you think about other is not true. It is just your perspective. It's not true that you can't do it. It's not true that Oprah's rich and you're poor. It's not true. And so up level starts to give you that language. And for my husband and I, it saved our marriage, because if he wasn't able to hear me and listen to my spirit and listen to my animal, if he wasn't able to hear me talk about my feelings and cry. He used to hate for me to cry. He used to hate for me to laugh too loud. He used to hate for me to be angry. If he can't experience my emotions, I knew I could invent a way for him to experience my emotions. And that's what up level is. I knew I could create a way for me to express emotions without feeling the guilt that I hurt somebody's feelings. That's ridiculous. That's an impediment to the oneness and to the magic. So yeah.
Yes. Wow.
Up level is truly beautiful. We've talked about up level on previous podcasts, and I use up level with people who know the techniques and people who don't, because I center myself in it. Like if they're venting, so that helps me be able to hear it and not take it personal. That not taking it personal is a big piece. And then letting somebody be heard is also a big piece. People are often listening so they can respond, but not really listening, so people aren't being heard. That deep listening is so healing. I've seen that part just heal. What I also love about up level is getting to gratitude, like bringing it back around to what it is for you. Because like you said, it is you. It's just that person, you outside of yourself, reflecting back to you. So I thank you for that technique. It helped me in my marriage. It's helped me with my children. It's helped me with my clients. I use it. I use it.
Yeah, I've just found without it, otherwise it's lip service to say that we're one.
Yes.
It's lip service. If we can't actualize that and start to integrate that and live and speak from that space,
Yeah, it's the thing that I appreciate so much about up level is this oneness aspect, to understand that there is only one thing happening, and up level allows me to see it. It allows me to go like, oh, what her vent is actually what's going on inside of me too. Like, oh, where can I find that in me? Like that becomes the fun part, where I'm like listening to somebody vent, and I'm very sensitive, so everything hurts me. Like honestly, I'm very sensitive. I'm like inside, but because I grew up with pure chaos, I learned how to just be straight faced, right? So, but as I've spent enough time in environments where I can be comfortable and not be taken out of my system, now I go, oh, that is me. Where is that me? Where, like, and it gets fun and exciting. Oh yeah, that's where I have it. Oh, that's where I have it. And then that creates the integration. The integration begins to happen when I can see myself in the other, or where I can be seen in the empathy, right? How do you empathize? Like, oh, I felt that before. Yes, I understand how it's like, oh, why am I having orgasms in here? Like,
You got that crystal
literally,
on your head.
it feels so good though when you can connect energetically with another through empathy. It really does feel orgasmic.
yes,
It does. It
yes,
does.
yes.
I will
The
say this
funniest
with
thing
up level. Oh, go ahead, Kenya.
I was gonna say, the funniest thing is when I'm teaching people empathy, they're like, I don't have a story that relates to that. I don't know anything that I went through like that. And that's where we are. That's where we start out in Western culture. We're other. You're over there. I can't relate. I don't know you. I don't like you. That's where that's our set point.
Yeah.
It is our set point. And it's like, you gotta unravel that frees your energy up and just connects you truly when you can empathize and not just say the word empathy. Most people are saying, oh, we need more empathy. They have no idea of a way that looks and what that means and how to actualize it.
It's a feeling. It's a feeling. Like you really have to open up your heart. That's why the heart is so important, to feel it. I will say that there have been times, because we're all in this system right now. Okay, we're here, and I could be in emotion and upset and venting to Monique, because I know she's gonna hold me to my highest self. She's not gonna go down the path of hating and that kind of shit. She's gonna ultimately hold me to my higher self, which I appreciate. And she will say to me, okay, after I get finished blurting out whatever, where is that in you? Like in the moment when I'm so emoting, I forget that it's in me sometimes. Like I forget. because I'm in my emotion and he did this and yeah. Okay, I heard you. Thank you. Where is that in you? And I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It stops it. It stops it all because it brings it back. Because like I hear you and I feel you and I understand. Like she'll empathize with me so purely, and that helped me to even be able to calm down and to look at me. To
Yeah.
look at like, where are you doing that? Fuck.
Yeah.
Shit. Like I'm still doing that, and that's why I'm so pissed about it, because I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
You know? Otherwise, if I just stay in the anger and I just stay in the vent, I stay in the ego, you can't get to the lesson or the beauty or whatever that came to show you. So I thank you, Kenya, for the system, and then Monique and people who know it to hold me to it so that I can grow through it. It is a beautiful process, and it's frustrating sometimes too, because you're feeling like you have arrived. But what the fuck is arriving? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like
Yeah.
different levels of this shit.
One of
I
the
love
things
it.
that I appreciate, though, in this time that we're living in, right? Because we're all in this system. And like Kenya was saying, everyone's like, I don't have that. That ain't me. That's you. I don't, right? And so one of the things that I participate, like, in this system as a Black person, and like, I feel like as a Black person, maybe others can relate to this, I have created a divide between, like, I'm better than white people. I would never do that. I would never do the things that white people do. I'm not capable of that, which is that responsibility piece. So it's like, oh, then you're denying some aspect of yourself, so you don't really fully have your power. And I was watching this video the other day of Toni Morrison, and you know how dignified she is, right?
Oh,
Like Toni Morrison, they're so fucking dignified. It's like what? And Toni Morrison was saying, I was watching, I was reading this thing about these white women who were able to, kill these Black children, and she said, I couldn't think of one Black person that would do such a thing. And I was like, call me, because I would do it. But it was more out of like, I can be that too. I can be murderous. I have that in me. Why? Because I'm on the planet. I might not choose to use it, but I have it. I can empathize with it. I know what it's like to feel like you want to murder somebody. I probably in a lifetime have murdered somebody, unalive. And it feels really good to give myself permission to take that into my system, to be responsible for that kind of energy. And so the thing that I appreciate about fucking Up Level is that you can really be with your animal. Like, it's not about the pretty stuff. It's not about the stuff that we all want, right? Because everybody wants to be pretty. Everybody wants to be liked. But it's the darkest stuff as well. And that is what I need it for, because I need permission to be in the darkness. I need it. And I actually revel in the darkness. And and in many different forms, I revel in it. And I was born into it. And the world is dark and light, right? So I have to give myself permission to take responsibility for that. And Up Level is a beautiful, loving self way to do it, that allows you to be a full human being,
yes.
That part. That's powerful. That's very powerful.
Yes. Go. So what's next?
Well, what's next is we want to talk about healing ourselves and healing the aspect of ourselves where, as women in particular, we felt that we couldn't really be our whole selves. We felt like we couldn't own our desires. We felt like we couldn't own our anger because it wasn't pretty. We felt like we couldn't own our darkness. It's only light, it's light and love. And I'm here for light and love. I'm here for that. But I also understand what you're saying, Monique, because there is a time for things to end, because we know the end is just the beginning.
Yeah.
So as we heal ourselves and give ourselves permission to really to be Kenya, and that's what I felt about you. You always, as long as I've known you, and we're talking about since the 90s, you had that as a young woman. You walked with that. Your energy was loud, and now it's even louder, if y'all can imagine. But a 20-year-old young woman, young mother, and this was Kenya before the lipstick and all that we had on, African clothes and lapas and stuff back in the day, but the energy was it was always there. You gave yourself permission to be your whole self, and you didn't give a fuck. Like I said, maybe that's your double soldier that you have. But talk about how women can really come into healing all the fragmented aspects of ourselves so that we can be all of this, be what we came here to be.
Well, how can women do that? I have a daughter named Sanu, and I remember when she was 16, she was like, well, I want to do what you do, or be on YouTube, or talk on Instagram, and do this. But she was afraid to see herself. She would make a video and delete it. Make a video and delete it. I said, what's wrong? She said, I don't want to hear my voice, or it doesn't sound good, or it doesn't look good. I don't like the way I look. She's a Virgo, so that's a whole other issue with perfection. But it was through repetition. I kept having her. I would make a video. She would make a video. And I would say, okay, you delete that one. Do it again tomorrow. Repetition. I think that some people are trying to learn on Instagram, or learn on a better one, TikTok. You can learn a lot on TikTok, but you're not going to repeat. A ritual is repetition. What I did in the Blue Butterfly Women in 2008 was bring women into a container of repetition, where you're going to repeat these things. What I did when we started Moon Manifestation, CN 365, CN 328, is repetition. You're not going to come into any power of anything unless you're repeating the scenario again and again. So what I did was open up a world for thousands of people to repeat what they are practicing. Repeat your vent today. Repeat it today. Do your up level today. Do your moon manifestation. It's a full moon. It's a new moon. This is what we did. This did not exist online at all.
That's right. It
In
didn't
2009,
exist. It didn't exist. That's right.
And so what you need a container of repetition.
Yes.
I don't know how Instagram is that. Maybe it is. I cannot judge. My ego can judge, because my ego says Instagram is not that. The information is changing every day. It's a different person every day. It's different top. It's not you doing these set things. That's called an initiation. You have to take yourself through an initiation.
Yes.
Okay. By the time you met me, Adina, I had been through 5 initiations.
Okay.
I started going through initiations when I was 21. And I understood the power of repetition and being held to a standard on a regular basis.
Okay.
So I did that with my daughter, and currently now she's at 42,000 followers. She's been on a television series. I took her through the initiation of repetition of what you're afraid of. Face it every day. Face it every day. Monique used to say, there's a pressure cooker in here. I said, hell the fuck yes, there's a pressure cooker. Because you're going to cook. You're going to cook now.
And not only was it a pressure cooker, but Kenya, because she's so magical, I could wake up in the morning, like say I would open my eyes at 5 a.m. and my first thought would be of Kenya, and then she would be on my phone at the same time. Like literally, I was like, at some point I'd be like, get this bitch out of my consciousness. Like what? She would be she's a taskmaster. She gotta go. And, but it changed my life. Like it changed my life. It was so powerful to be in space with women who were. It was initiation. It was like it was initiation for like AKA or Delta or whatever. But when you came out, you actually did magic, really for real. Like not, and I'm not downing any of that kind of stuff, because I wanted that. When I went to Howard University, I wanted to pledge, but what I didn't understand was I actually wanted to be initiated into
something.
Right. I wanted initiation. I didn't want pledging. I wanted initiation, because the work that we did at PLA and Blue Butterflies brought us into ourselves. It didn't make us slaves to something else. It didn't make us, like a part of a group where you don't get to be yourself and everybody it didn't do that. It literally was like, go be who you're meant to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Initiation. I remember when the 3 of us, actually it was a group of 6 of us, but we were all in New Orleans together, and it was a night of a full moon celebrating one of our sister's birthday. And we were out in the backyard having a ritual We had a crystal in the middle. We were going around the circle. And Kenya, you said, okay, we're going to go around the circle and everybody's going to say what you love about everybody. And me as my Cancer spirit, that felt really great. And I loved it. I was able to, everybody say everything we loved about each other. Then the next question was, Kenya said, now I want you to tell each other what you hate about each other. And I was like, oh no. I was so afraid. Like what Monique said was like, Adina, I hate belly dance. And I swear, I was like, oh, oh. But I was able to hear you because you're like, it's hard. It's really hard for me and blah, 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 blah. And for that, I hate it. But really, I love it because I'm up leveling, but it's a piece of it that I hate. So that part of, I never was with a group of women where we could be that authentic with each other, to share what we love and share what we hate and grow from it. So even though I cried, I might have cried right there. You didn't see me though. I was just like, and to hear the shit that we said to each other. But what Kenya was saying was, we have to find ways to really be our whole self. Fuck this fake shit. I just gonna put on makeup and be our just little nice self.
Right.
I want you to know me.
That's right.
I want you to know me. And Kenya, I even think you took your titties out. You're like, I want you to know me. And I was like, oh, this is so amazing. It was intimate. It was powerful. And it shifted me to love you and for you to be able to say that to me. To really say to me where you were. And Kenya, you said to me where you were too, because you were like, what you said to me, Kenya, changed my life too. You're like, stop fucking playing small. Okay, you're in the circle because your ass is supposed to be here. I didn't even say that. I didn't say that. She's like, I feel you. I feel you. And you got to know that you're supposed to be here. I mean, the energy of being your full self with for people you say you're friends with, be your full fucking self and allow them to have that space and know that it's still all love. It's still fucking all love. The authenticity of that, the realness of that it was life shifting because I've never been in a group of women where we could be that real with each other. And we had fun too, y'all. We sang karaoke all night. We ate. We did everything. But that circle changed my life.
Yes. Kenya put us to bed singing karaoke.
She did. She sang until 4:00 in the morning. I mean, we dropped off one by one. Kenya was the last woman standing.
That was Monica. That was Monica singing all loud.
That was Monica's birthday.
But the thing is that I just think the containers are important. I don't think that there's a way to learn just vicariously or through reading books by yourself. It really happens in community, and it happens in containers that are set up to challenge you each day. Yeah.
And that's what you do, girl. You up leveled us for real. Like, listen, we're not playing here. We're not even playing. So thank you for that, Kenya. Thank you
so much
for demonstrating in real time. So now we want to talk. Oh, go ahead, Mama.
So the thing that I realized when we all sort of graduated from PLA and Kenya went to do something different, and I was like, we came together in a time period that was magical, that will never exist again. Like what we had there will never exist again. It was powerful. That's all I can say. To be in that community of open relating and magic and the astrology piece and the archetypal, like we became gods in that community. We really did. We embodied our whole selves. And I just am so grateful to you and Rakim for it. Thank you so much.
But what she told us in the beginning that I didn't get, Kenya, you said, I'm creating teachers. I can't teach everybody. Okay. Everybody is not going to be able to hear this message from me. I am training trainers. So go out in all the places that you do and take this, which is what we have done. Now, when I came, I was like, I'm not here to teach. I'm here to just get my shit together. But you were like, no, you are.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful testimony. No, I still enjoy that. I enjoy that very much. I still train trainers. What I went to go do is I have to, divorce-proof marriages now. So I put couples into the same container that we would be in, and in a very condensed form that lasts 3 to 6 months. So I really love what I do currently. And yes, I think that there's a lot of teachers. I heard Michael Beckwith talk about the PL tenant. I said,
Nice.
oh, here we go, Michael Beckwith. You know, I want people to say my name with it too, because as Black women, we're
Yes.
not going to invent, we're done inventing shit
Yes.
and creating shit, and we don't got our name
That's
on it.
right.
Because there's nothing new under the sun. It wasn't Black women, it was just God. Fuck that. It was Black women. And
It
you're
was
going to say
Black
my
women.
name. You're going to say my name with my
Say
mouth.
her name.
Say my name.
Say her name.
Put my name on it.
Say
Put some respect
her
on
name.
it. Right.
You know,
Yes.
but yeah, when I heard Michael Beckwith say, "Yeah, no victims, no villains," I said, "Oh, we've reached critical mass." I really, I really see and identify and recognize my work all over the world now, and I love what I do currently because it's yeah, I'm in Bali, I'm chilling, but of course I have couples here. I'm headed to Kenya next week. I'm building an app for this information, you know, so I had to do a lot of different things, television. So, but yes, I enjoyed the time that we had. It was perfection.
It was perfection.
It was.
perfection.
It was.
It was perfection. Like because I had studied with, I had studied with Michael Beckwith before I came to PLA. I had studied in environments where white people were doing all, I mean, you know what I mean? I had been the one Black person in a group of 200 white people. I had done a lot. And when I saw Kenya and Rakim, like literally the energy of the picture, you guys, him in that black suit and you in that black satin dress. And I was like, who are them? Who are them? Who are them? Who are them? Like, and that was it for me. And then you guys came to LA and you were on the Ricky Lake show. And I came to meet you guys at the Ricky Lake show.
Yeah, I
We were
remember.
already online together.
Yeah.
I was already in the community, but I came to meet you at the Ricky Lake show, and that was it. And here's what I'll say, because Kenya and Rakim are open relators, so this might be a lot for the crowd. But how it shifted me was Kenya and Rakim and I went to dinner, and Kenya sent Rakim home with me.
Yeah.
Kenya was like, "Rakim, you go home with Monique," and I was like, "Wait."
Well, I think
God's work.
that was part of the job. Part of my job has been to demonstrate actual community again, to where we're not mistrusting of each other, where we can actually, a lot of people say, why polyamory? Why do you have to be in an open marriage? Do you have to be in an open marriage to be spiritual? No. But guess what? My father was a Black Panther, as many of y'all know, and the Black Panther Party fell apart and could not sustain itself because it wasn't really community. Yes. The undertone was, who's messing with my woman?
Yes.
Who's messing with my man? And when you have that undercurrent, you're not a community.
That's
I
right.
can't say, oh yeah, you like my man, oh you like my woman. It's our man. It's I used to get online on Facebook and say, that's our husband.
That's
our husband.
That's not my. And so I didn't know I was doing that, but Spirit was having me demonstrate that and show the potentiality of that and let people feel how it felt to be trusted and to be embraced and to not be feared because you also have a vagina. Not be feared because you also have breasts.
Yes.
Not be feared because you're also a woman. It's like, how can we have community with all that going on? So
Right.
I didn't understand, so I showed it. I demonstrated. I said, "This is all our husband," and he was with many women in the community, and of course, I had many men.
Yes,
Right.
It healed my soul. It healed my soul to be in the experience where Kenya sent Rakim home with me, and me being like, okay, this man is coming home with me, and we're here together, and I'm like, his wife knows, like that. Just the idea that his wife knew, and there was nothing wrong with it, healed the depth of my soul that felt like what I'm doing is wrong or this is sinful. It healed it. And never again did I think of it as a sin. Never again. Do you understand the depths of healing that can happen for women in the Black community if we just let go of this idea that God is saying that we could do something that's sinful?
Right.
Right.
That's
Yes.
Ridiculous. I'm so glad that experience is out and you shared that.
Mhm.
I would love to, yeah, I just love when people share the experiences that they've had and how it changes them. And the containers are important. I hope all of your listeners get into containers,
Yeah.
get into a
Mhm.
container. What are y'all doing? You know, I
Mhm.
Right.
mean, reading Instagram, reading books. That's the
Mhm.
first step. Get into a real step.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Mhm.
So, Dina, we have
That's
about 8
amazing.
more minutes. How you doing?
Okay.
What's okay?
Well, 8 more minutes. Kenya is in Bali. Kenya, we are taking the Goddess Technology Retreat to Bali in July. Like I said, we have 26 women. You are there before us, making the place even more magical before
Yeah.
we get there. So tell us about your Bali experience. Tell us about what you have been doing since you've been there.
Gosh, I forgot why I came to Bali, but now I remember. I, I came here to speak at a Black in Bali conference. Black in
Okay.
Bali is an organization of expats, African Americans or Africans from UK or Australia or New Zealand, everywhere, who live in Bali.
Mm-hmm.
So they had a big conference. They're all business people because they're all making US dollars or euros or whatever. And they meet and they talked about their businesses. So I was speaking there about up level, of course, because they need a way to unify themselves on the island of Bali. But what I love about Bali, and if you bring in women here, it is African culture before colonialism. That's what it
Mm.
represents. And there's a shrine in every front yard. There's a shrine every 50 feet on the street. The women are feeding the shrines all day. The men are dressed up in their regalia. They're marching on the road. They're dancing. They're doing a fire dance. They're doing rituals. You can go to a shaman and get yourself worked on. You know, you're inside of African culture before colonialism if you come to Bali. And they identify that. They okay, so they had this thing. I was in the cab and I said, "What is that shrine right there? What is that? What they marching? What are they saying?" And he was just saying, "Oh, they're praying to God." And I was like, "No, don't give me the white folk version." I said, "I'm on your team." I said, "Is that which God is that?" He said, that's Bratham or you know Ganesha. I said, "Yeah, like Ganesha. Like I understand the gods
Yes.
and the goddesses. Like don't tell me that's God. That's what they're sharing to get people to say, not mess with their culture. Like oh, it's God." I know, and so they told me about it and what it was, and the warriors, and just all the same things that we practice in Africa or in Progressive Love Academy, and understanding the archetypes. You're going to love it. I love Bali. It's
Wow.
fantastic. I don't want to leave. I feel like I don't want to leave. It's safe. It's safe space.
Wow. That's amazing.
Beautiful. So
That's
perhaps
beautiful.
I
we
mean, but
need to
for
set up
real, like, but it's not poverty. Like you know how you go to some islands and there's no churches in Bali. There's not a church here.
Wow.
So it has not been destroyed. You understand with that? You know, it's
Yes.
not been destroyed. I'm sorry for readers, people who are watching, say, "Oh, what she talk about?" I talk about what I'm talking about. There's no churches here, thus there's no poverty or
Yes.
mental poverty here.
Ooh. No sin.
And
No
so,
sinfulness. No
it's no
idea
sin.
of sin.
Mhm.
No. And the people
That's
are
beautiful.
happy. There's no beggars. There's no people on the street. It's no children running up saying, "Can I have some money?" They have
Mhm.
family. They have a community.
Mhm.
It is beautiful. I love it.
That is
Ashe.
amazing. Man, I shaded that. Let me shake my
Yeah.
rattle.
Wow.
So we actually
Yeah.
have, for those who are listening and want to join us in Bali, we do have 3 additional spaces that opened up. We have a family that is not able to join us. So if you want to join us in Bali, we do have a very special opportunity. So connect with Monique and myself and come on so you can
Yes.
understand what African culture really was like before Columbus and those Columbus types. You know, what
Yes.
was it about? What
Yes.
is it? So come on, come on.
Kenya,
So
I just
Kenya.
love you so much. I really do. And I am very grateful. Like beyond there really no words that I can really say, honestly. And
Mm.
it if it were not for you, if it were not for you, I would not be where I am today. You came and pulled me out of the grave. you did. You did that. Like
So
you.
does that mean you? Does that
Go
mean you're
ahead.
going to take? Does that mean you're going to take Gabrielle up on our meeting?
Yes, I am. I totally.
Yeah. I
Yes.
know your ego was a little stuck, but I said, "Oh, Gabrielle said Monique's not going to do it." I was like, "She'll do it. Maybe not now,
Of
soon."
course I'll do it. Of course I do it. Of course, and I'm excited. So we'll get that on the calendar really soon. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes,
thank
you
you
Good,
for
see
good.
being
how it
with
all
us
works
today.
together beautifully and synergistically.
Girl,
Yes.
I'm never
Mhm.
worried. I'm never
I know
worried.
Mhm.
you
It's like
were
that song.
never worried.
It's
Mhm.
like that song. I ain't never scared. I ain't never
Never
scared.
scared.
She ain't, because why would you be scared of yourself? It's your creation. Why, if there's oneness, why do you need to be worried if you're one with all things?
Yes.
Why? What's to be
Yes.
afraid of?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
that's
So,
right.
Kenya, thank you for your time. It is 9 p.m. in Bali. It's 9 a.m. on the East Coast. It's 6 a.m. on the West Coast. So, we really work together with all of our time zones for us to come together. Thank you.
Thank you.
We love you. We eternally appreciate your offerings. Thank you for having the courage to live your authentic self out front and to show us the way. It's one thing, like you say, to be intellectual. You live it, you walk it. And we are doing the same, knowing that we're taking your light and going forward and igniting our own light. We lit our light with you. We lit
Yes.
it in, yeah, you lit our light. And it didn't diminish you at all. It just makes us all bigger. So thank you, my sister.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
all for inviting me. I'll talk to you soon.
All
Enjoy.
righty.
Thank
All
you.
righty. Everyone have a wonderful
Bye-bye.
day.
Bye.
Bye.